In this video, we're talking about saving. How to save, how much you should really be saving, where to put your savings, what's the difference between saving and investing, and how to even structure an emergency fund. So, stick around. Welcome to Practical Finance, a common sense approach to managing money. Now, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, read the disclaimer because I don't want to always say TANA'S. In the last Practical Finance video, we spoke about budgeting. And in this video, you will see where budgeting fits into your overall plan. I just wanted to say that I am not a personal finance guru, and I'm sure there may be experts who will probably disagree with everything I have to say in this video. But it works for me, and maybe it could work for you. Okay? To me, personal finance and finance on the whole is basically, your budget. You see how much you have to save. You take those savings and you invest them, and so that you can have a comfortable retirement, and then maybe leave something in an estate for somebody to inherit from you. That's all. And along the way, you're building some buffers, insurance, an emergency fund to protect your investments so that you can achieve these goals. And that's it. I mean, I guess I could end the video here, but no, we're talking about saving. So as always, the first thing we have to talk about is your mindset, right? So we're talking about saving. So what kind of person are you? Are you a saver? Are you a spender? Are you the kind of person that thinks, well, hey, money make to spend? Or, you can't take it with you, so I might as well spend it. You don't really think about the future. But if that is you, stop it right now. In terms of saving, my personal view is saving should be fun. Saving shouldn't be painful. Saving shouldn't, restrict your life. I'm not here to tell you that, you can't buy a cup of coffee or go by the bar and drink with your friends, or you have to give up going by a nail tech or, by a hairdresser. No, right? I am here to be talking about practical tips, right? It's baby steps. So, it's like a diet. If you go too drastic, you will never stick to it. But if you make small changes along the way, then you build a sustainable plan. And that's all we're talking about here, a sustainable saving plan. All right? So that's the mindset. But we need to understand why we need to save. Why is saving important? Well, we know that saving protects yourself and your family from hard times, right? It provides a buffer. But it also gives you the ability to make risky decisions in terms of, you might want to start a business, but you can't leave the job you're in now to start a business if you don't have any savings. So savings gives you options. Okay, so the first thing we need to understand is what is saving, or what are savings, right? And what's the difference between saving and investing? So I think everybody knows that savings are the accumulation of what you have left over from your income after you pay all your expenses. Boom. Saving is basically safer, less risky assets that are available now, and you pretty much know what the value will be when you're ready to take them out. And investing is putting your savings to work so that they could increase in value, which means you're taking risk, and they will be there to help you accomplish a goal in the future, right? So they're related, but they're not the same, right? But I guess no saving video will be complete if I do at least give you some areas to save, right? I'll probably give you some obvious ones and maybe some less obvious ones. And if this is all that you get from the video, well, that's a little sad, but I mean, at least you get something. So I made a list here. So if you see me looking off camera, it's because I can't really remember everything. All right. So, okay, simple things, obvious things. We in 2020, you have a cell phone, right? Why you have a house phone? Right? I mean, I haven't had a house phone in years, right? That's an easy way to save some money. Haircuts. If you have a haircut, a hairstyle like me, you don't need to be going to buy a barber and lining up and spending hours. You spend the money, you buy a machine, right? You do it yourself, right? You have your wife or your significant other, whoever it is, clean up the back that you can't really see. Okay, all right, so less obvious ways to save money. All right, your insurance, car insurance premium. You go and you shop around. You might be able to get a lower rate. Right? You take your no claim and you carry it somewhere else, and you might be able to get a lower rate. Boom. Okay. In this day and age of fast internet, you might want to explore cutting your cable bill or just cutting cable altogether. I mean, there's more you could do with Netflix than just chill. Then there's your mortgage. You may have a mortgage that you got years ago that probably at a higher interest rate than in the market now. You could go and try and refinance your mortgage. I mean, yes, just watch out for the lawyer fees, but you could finance that in the mortgage. And right now, banks, credit unions, everybody mouth wide trying to get your money. Take advantage. So how much should you really be saving? All right, well, that depends, but there are some rules that you could follow. So the traditional rule of thumb is to save 10% of your income. But in this day and age, that mightn't get you very far, right? Then there is the ever popular 50-30-20 rule, where they say 50% of your take-home pay goes towards your needs, your fixed bills like your rent, your mortgage, groceries, I guess. I would even put insurance in there. And then the other 30% goes to your wants. So that's things that, you know, you're nice to have. You don't really need it to survive, right? And then the last 20% goes towards saving and debt reduction, right? But my personal target is 20%, right? I may not get there every month, but my target is 20%. So, but I'm usually in the 15 to 20% range because guess what? Man had to live. Right, man a gin to buy. Man might want to buy a little, you know, El Pecos or something. So, you know, 15 to 20% is the range I've been. But watch out for oversaving though, right? Yes, oversaving is a thing, right? There are two reasons why oversaving could be a problem. One, cash drag. Cash drag is where the return you get on your savings account is much lower than what you'll get on your investments and the rest of your portfolio, so it will drag down your overall portfolio return, right? And the second reason why oversaving is a problem is inflation, right? If your saving return it doesn't at least match inflation, then your money losing value over time, right? So watch out for that. Right, so now I want to just touch on how I have my all my accounts set up to save, right? So I'm a firm believer in what they say where you pay yourself first, right? Or basically saving automatically. So the way my accounts are set up is my employer splits my salary into 3 different accounts. One I use to manage my daily expenses and my credit card. There's another one that's purely for savings and maybe to pay 1 or 2 bills that easier to pay through that bank. And then there's one that's savings / to pay my car loan, because as I said, sometimes there are issues between transferring money between banks, right? So, and even before the salary goes to any of these accounts, things like annuities come out automatically, right? So pay yourself first. Sometimes I even forget I have the other 2 accounts because I just managing the daily bills account, the expense account, right? So your account set up and you have your savings, but where to put your savings, all right? To me, the only funds you should have in a bank are those to pay your bills, your discretionary spending, and the emergency fund. So let's touch quickly on the emergency fund. Experts usually say you need to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in the emergency fund. I prefer 6 to 12 months because things happen, right? If you lose your job, it might take longer to get a job. So the more the better, but I think 12 months might be the limit, okay? And the kinds of places you would put that money, all right? So interest-bearing savings account, a fixed NAV, mutual fund, because the fixed NAV, the value is fixed, so you know what you're getting when it's time to take it out, right? A money market mutual fund. So these invest in highly liquid assets, high quality assets, so that you know your money is safe, right? Because the whole purpose of the emergency fund is to be able to have quick access, right, to your funds, and your funds are safe. So the last 2 things I want to talk about are lifestyle creep and impulse buying. Lifestyle creep is the temptation to increase your standard of living as you get increases in income, right? So you know, people, as every time they get a raise, that they get a new car, or that they get the latest cell phone or something like that, right? The experts say that you should save 100% of every pay increase. I do agree with that because, I mean, you know, you want a little satisfaction, you want to feel like you're making a little progress, right? So my rule of thumb is save at least 50% of what your increase is. That way, you know, you could still go and take a little splurge on something. right? So watch out for lifestyle creep. The next thing is impulse buying, right? The way I deal with impulse buying is because I have instant buyer's remorse. I can buy anything and I will instantly feel, boy, I should not buy that. Down to the surgery on my shoulder. I was sitting on the operating bed asking my wife if I really need to get a surgery, if it's too late to change my mind, right? After then when the people hospital gone, right? But the way I deal with impulse buying is stop, take a breath, think about it. Think about it for a few days, right? Because if you really need it today, you will need it 2 days from now, right? And then I come up with ways to try to convince myself that I don't need it. And if after all of that, I still think I need it, then when I buy it, I wouldn't feel anyhow, right? So the thing about impulse buying is to just take a step back and then, approach it from a clear head, right? All right, so that's our advice on saving. It's probably not what the experts would tell you, but hey, it works for me and hopefully it'll work for you, right? So if you like the video, click like, share it. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button to get future content. And you could also provide me with feedback in the comment section or even suggest topics that you would like to see me talk about from a practical perspective. All right, so good luck.